More fallout from that massive hack, or at least breach, that we told you about yesterday. Sources say that state-sponsored hackers also accessed the Department of Homeland Security's internal communications as part of the campaign that also struck the U.S. Treasury and Commerce departments. So it looks like for the better part of a year, the hackers have been able to read internal communications, essentially emails, from some of the most sensitive corners of the U.S. government. That's again because it was SolarWinds that was apparently breached at the supply chain level, and essentially everybody, it turns out, uses SolarWinds to outsource some aspects of their security stuff. SolarWinds has had to admit somewhere around 18,000 customers were compromised between March and June via an update to its Orion software, quoting Reuters. Emails sent by officials at DHS, which oversees border security and defense against hacking, were monitored by the hackers as part of the sophisticated series of breaches, 3 people familiar with the matter told Reuters Monday. The attacks, first revealed by Reuters Sunday, also hit the U.S. Departments of Treasury and Commerce. Parts of the Defense Department were breached, the New York Times reported late Monday night, while the Washington Post reported that the State Department and National Institutes of Health were hacked. Neither agency commented to Reuters. Quote, for operational security reasons, the DoD will not comment on specific mitigation measures or specify systems that may have been impacted, a Pentagon spokesman said. Technology company SolarWinds, which was the key stepping stone used by the hackers, said up to 18,000 of its customers had downloaded a compromised software update that allowed hackers to spy unnoticed on businesses and agencies for almost 9 months. The United States issued an emergency warning on Sunday ordering government users to disconnect SolarWinds software, which it said had been compromised by malicious actors. Because the attackers could use SolarWinds to get inside a network and then create a new backdoor, merely disconnecting the network management program is not enough to boot the hackers out, experts said. For that reason, thousands of customers are looking for signs of the hackers' presence and trying to hunt down and disable those extra tools. Investigators around the world are now scrambling to find out who was hit. A British government spokesman said the United Kingdom was not currently aware of any impact from the hack, but was still investigating. 3 people familiar with the investigation into the hack told Reuters that any organization running a compromised version of the Orion software would have had a backdoor installed in their computer systems by the attackers. After that, it's just a question of whether the attackers decide to exploit that access further, said one of the sources, end quote. So the way I'm understanding this, basically, these hackers have been listening in on communications throughout the entire U.S. government for the better part of a year. Because they've been there so long, they basically could have left back doors wide open for themselves to come and go as they please, as well as potentially leave other booby traps elsewhere. Oh, and they're probably still there because they're so embedded at this point. Super. As Raphael Satter tweeted, we now know how many customers were pushed the malicious Orion software updates, somewhere south of 18,000. Now the question incident responders are weighing is, how many of those 18,000 backdoors were opened, end quote. And as former Facebook security chief Alex Stamos tweeted, the fact that you have to scroll down into the corner of the Washington Post homepage to get to Ellen Nakashima's and Craig Timberg's reporting on the SVR compromise of a huge swath of the U.S. government makes me think that official D.C. hasn't grasped what has happened yet, end quote.